well, good morning. It is the Bulletin Man joining you on this Wednesday. It is the, actually Tuesday the 13th day of March 2012. And Bulletin Man has been uploading videos. Now we're into Tuesday morning. We're still on Central Standard Time around here in Bulletin Land. So if you got an appointment with the Bulletin Man, I'll be an hour late for the next 7-8 months. We don't go back to daylight savings time. It's stupid. They would change time. And it's just another thing the government has foisted upon the American people. I read a quote the other day about a Russian said, the Americans are the only ones who think if you cut off one foot of a blanket at one end and put it on the other end, then you'll have a longer blanket. So true. So true. Went to the big bourbon meet the candidates night tonight, and we should have brought in the big gun Richard. My buddy Richard Bloom has got like a $5,000 video camera, and we're going to be bringing him to town because seriously, we're going to do a reality show about bourbon and put it on the map. Because what happened this evening at the Meet the Candidates forum, which I've posted the videos on Facebook, and you can check them out. We have a Facebook page. It's Bourbon, Missouri. But nonetheless, if you watch those videos and you really look at them, it's comedy. It really is. It's such a comedy of errors. Folks, we all love bourbon. I love bourbon just as much as Phyllis Harnett and Danny Skaggs and Leonard Armstrong and all the citizens of bourbon. What I have done since 1989 is I have promoted tourist interest in Crawford County. I've worked in Leesburg. Fred Sanders is the man who actually brought me to Crawford County. Fred at Kai's Canoe Rental started me passing out brochures. As soon as I got out of broadcasting school, went to work at KTUI. Little John couldn't pay me but minimum wage, so I had to find a way to make some money on the side. So I started passing out brochures. Then I met Lester Riley and Lester Dill. I never met Mr. Dill, but I met Lester LB up in Merrimack Caverns, and I started selling billboards for him. We did pretty good. We bought the little store in Leesburg. I got married, had my first child in Crawford County, had my second child in Crawford County, had my third child in Crawford County, and I've conceived a couple more in Crawford County. I've lived in and out of Crawford County since 1988 and 89. I love this county, and I've promoted this county, and literally I've probably had a hand in bringing hundreds of thousands of people to Crawford County. About 2 years ago, I actually ventured down the West Service Road one day to go out to Highway End to one of my clients. And God bless JR and Vicky Isom over at Blue Springs Ranch, because they've been very good to me over the years. Now, Mr. Isom's not very happy with me right now because I'm attacking the mayor of Bourbon, and Leonard and JR get along very well. They're good friends. Well, I would say they're friends. They're not good friends they are. But Leonard is not doing a very good job running the city. Let's face it. And I don't understand why. God bless Leonard. I love Leonard Armstrong. He seems like a nice guy. He seems like a good grandfatherly type guy. But what he has done to the citizens of Bourbon is criminal. Simple as that. And the man doesn't need the money. You know, I watched a movie this evening called Inside Job, and I highly recommend that you watch that. And basically, it shows what the banking industry and their government, allowing the banking industry to get into derivatives and credit default swaps, has basically ruined the American economy. And not only ruined the American economy, but it has ruined the world economy. And now there's going to be hell to pay for that, literally. America has basically went around the globe and ripped everybody off, and paydays coming due. You're seeing the corruption here locally just explode. The lawyers are out of control, the bankers are out of control, and our government officials are out of control. And the microcosm of that is what's going on in Bourbon, Missouri. Leonard has basically handpicked 4 aldermen who will do anything that he tells them to do. They allowed Leonard to form a nonprofit corporation which pays no real estate tax to buy the most valuable piece of property in town, one by their own admission, that we have on the tapes that you can watch on YouTube and Facebook, they had the money and the resources to buy it. Then they took title to the property in a private corporation's name, which has never made their books available to the public. And believe me, I've been trying since August to get a copy of their books. They still have not produced the books. They brought a Dollar General store to town to compete with another businessman in town named Jerry Crump. Jerry owns the Family Center. Jerry's been very well connected in the community for many years. Obviously, Leonard and Jerry had a falling out, and now Leonard has brought the Dollar General store in town basically to get at Mr. Crump. Leonard has a daughter who owns the ZX gas station. The city of Bourbon has been purchasing fuel, or have they been purchasing fuel, from Leonard's daughter's gas station, and they're also purchasing fuel from Wallace too. Now, I've got all the fuel receipts. I had about an hour and a half or 2 hours to look at them before this meeting this evening, but I will be spending some more time on that. But it basically looks like Leonard is certainly doing business with his daughter, which is totally against every ethical rule there is. And, you know, Leonard's actually even signing for gas. My goodness, he's got aldermen signing for gas. There's some criminal stuff going on in Bourbon. Mary Haywood was the mayor before Leonard, and I got to give Leonard credit to the fact that he inherited a great mess. Before that, there was another administration in there, and that administration was so corrupt that City Hall mysteriously burnt in 1997. Larry Mazering, who I met just 2 years ago, I walked into his store to sell him an ad in my little paper called The Bulletin. Larry and I got to talking, and Larry was fed up with what was going on in Bourbon. He asked me to help him start a website, which we did, bourbonbystander.com. And Larry has been underwriting that website for about 7 or 8 months. I put together a Facebook page called Bourbon, Missouri. Currently we have 1,880 people on that. Only about 100 of them actually live in the city of Bourbon. We have friends all across the world who now know about Bourbon, Missouri because of our Facebook page. I have an agent in Los Angeles, California who is actively shopping a show for one of the, either the History Channel, Discovery Channel. I mean, my goodness gracious, there's 100 cable channels out there, and everyone's got a show. But no one's got a show about a whole city. We're about ready to put Bourbon, Missouri on the map. What our future for Crawford County entails is bringing hundreds of thousands of people into this county to spend money, and spend lots of it. We want to bring big name entertainment to the county 3 or 4 times a year. We can do festivals, blues and bourbon. You know, there's a lot of things you can do. A lot of artists you can bring to town who will literally draw thousands of people. And we need to take advantage of the natural resources which God has afforded us down here. And there are a very select few people who are holding back significant progress from happening. The law enforcement apparatus, for one, by putting up roadblocks. But the city government and the county government funds that. And they fund it with federal money. And when you take federal money, it's got strings attached to it. We got Agenda 21 coming down the pipe. Leonard Armstrong claims he doesn't even know what Agenda 21 is about, when Mary Haywood, the former mayor of Bourbon, now runs the Merrimack Regional Planning Commission. Now, Bourbon did pull out of the Merrimack Regional Planning Commission, so I wonder if there's a tip there between Mary and Leonard, but they really got a lot to lose here, because they've got basically a continuing criminal enterprise for the last 30 or 35 years going on down there, and it's coming to an end, and they know it. There was only 20 or 25 people there this evening at this community center at this Meet the Candidates thing, and really Leonard only had about 5 or 6 supporters in the entire house. And I've already heard from a couple of them who no longer support Leonard. So, Mr. Armstrong, I really don't know what you're thinking. The election is 3 weeks away or whatever. Larry is in a position he speaks to literally 200 to 300 people a day. Some days 1,000 people in and out of his store. It will be an overwhelming landslide, Leonard, and criminal charges will come forth from all this should you continue on. It's simple as that. Mr. Armstrong, I don't understand. With all due respect, you've dedicated your life to building a business and being very successful at that. And I know you had good intentions when you came to Bourbon. You do a lot for the community. You spruce up the place. The place looks a lot better. It's clean. Aesthetically, it's looking. But your record on job growth, bringing the Dollar General store to town, and then in an open city council meeting, getting their manager fired. You're literally, and you realize that, don't you, Leonard? You got their manager fired when you talked about the liquor license and how you didn't want the Dollar General store to have a liquor license. You know, when I think liquor and alcohol should be totally illegal, to be honest with you. You know, liquor, alcohol, tobacco kill more Americans and cause more trouble in this country than every other illegal drug, every murder, every crime that is committed in this country. And it is totally sanctioned by the state of Missouri, by the federal government, by Crawford County, and every other government entity that they can get their hands in on that. And then they have the audacity to go over there to Mr. Mazur and claim that because he is selling tattoo material and basically anything else that is legal. Once it becomes illegal, Larry doesn't sell it anymore. If it's legal, he's going to sell it. And that's the American way. You know what? You guys are a bunch of hypocrites down there. Alcohol and tobacco. You know, how many DWIs go through the court system to make the lawyers rich? When you know, like selling a liquor license, that a person is going to drink. And if you give them a driver's license, they're going to drive. You know that. It's called problem, reaction, solution. And folks, I'm telling you, you have a very short window of opportunity to take back your country. And you need to get involved in your city government. You're being played for fools. And I'm here to tell you, and I'm doing it with considerable trepidation and putting myself at great risk and putting my family at great risk. But we serve a mighty and awesome God, and He delivers us every day. And miracles happen every day. And He's here to tell you. And I don't care if you believe in God or not. Some of you folks don't want to believe in God because you don't want to change your lifestyle. And that's fine. That's your choice. But I'm here to tell you that God is real. And God is not mocked. You do reap what you sow. If you're sowing corruption, you're going to reap corruption. If you're sowing good things, you're going to reap good things. So pray for the city of Bourbon. Pray that revival would come and that people would get right. And that our country, our county, our community would prosper once again. Have a great evening. God bless you.